Christy Kali Singh, and joining me on set right now, I've got Mr. Kevin Ramsewak. He is the Advisor for Governments and Foreign Mission Resources Mobilisation Committee of the Commonwealth Youth Council. Good morning to you, Kevin.
Good morning, Christy.
How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I'm all right.
How was your journey down here this morning? I mean, school is out.
Yeah, but you still have some minor traffic areas.
Do you think we'll ever get... you ever wake
I really
up one
don't think
day
so. I
and-
really don't think so. We had a lot of traffic in Korea, but the new interchange.
Yes,
Yeah, so
yes,
that's
yes,
causing a lot of stuff. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to jump right into it this morning. But before we do that, actually, who exactly is Kevin? And I know you wear many hats.
Well,
So,
at least I could try to wear one at a time. But
Yes.
yes, I do. How should I say? I'm a very dynamic person. I'm involved in a lot of youth activities, youth development, community advocacy. I'm also on that lovely sciences, nature, stuff like that. A lot of persons would know me.
not from singing.
Well, no, actually, that was actually another hat that I wore, but yes. But while my tenure at the university, that was really the start of where I got the passion for
Yes.
being involved in youth work, and I guess it took me this far. So I'm really happy that the persons that are around me were supporting me, and you know, we had some ups and downs, but here I am today with the same passion.
In a world where, or in a country where it's easy for a young person to go astray and let, quite very easy actually,
Yeah.
to just, in a whiff, just go astray from being this headstrong person to now being this person who's just confused, peer pressure. How important actually is a support system?
A support system is really important to anyone, I would say. But then again, it's on the onus of the person, because there are a lot of successful persons out here who were not privy to that support
Yeah.
system. But I am thankful for the persons around me. I had that support. Even my grandmother, she was a very vital role in my upbringing. And even my friends, my close friends that I keep today, they were the ones responsible, or partly responsible, for where I am today. So a support system is really, really important, really important.
And even in terms of when you look at employment, for
Yeah.
instance, sometimes we have people coming from south up to Port of Spain to work. You must be able to now
Yeah.
balance everything, and you
Exactly.
really do need it. But like you rightly said, sometimes those of you who are privileged can have it.
Yeah.
There are some who may not be so lucky to have
Exactly,
it.
exactly.
And speaking about youth unemployment,
Yeah.
we in not just Trinidad and Tobago, but we in the Caribbean, we have a very alarming rate of youth unemployment.
Correct.
As someone actively involved in the Commonwealth Youth Council, what are your thoughts on that?
When one poses the question, let's take, for instance, let's zoom in on Trinidad
Yeah.
and Tobago. When one poses the question that if it is that we really have an unemployment issue in Trinidad and Tobago, I really want to take this as a two-pronged approach, because there is a very biased approach in terms of the statistics show that there
Yes.
is a percentage
Yeah.
of unemployment. And that's where we really need to watch and see what are the factors that contribute to that unemployment. And are we in a dire state of our youth facing unemployment? Personally, I would say no. Right? And I know many would disagree with me.
Yeah.
Right? But I want to take this approach, and the positive approach.
Okay.
Right? So let's look at the things around us. Let's look at the things that we're afforded right now, and the opportunities that we're afforded at this moment. And ask ourselves if it is that we're really accessing what is available right now. And not only accessing it, but also being able to understand the information that is out there with
Yeah.
regards to these opportunities. So in that light, I see that unemployment, there are a lot of people who don't have access to jobs, right? And I'll go further to say this, and we would have probably been through this in our time. Take for instance, back in 2000, well, I wouldn't really call you when we started, but
not.
right, but at the end of our tenure at the university, what we realized is that a lot of our friends on leaving,
Yeah.
right, they were not able to get into a field that they would have been,
And that is
studying at
something
that point
that
in
has
time.
continued till this
Yeah.
date.
But that also lends to another dynamic, because in that case, we see that happening for years now.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do? Are we going to keep producing the same generic doctor, lawyer, engineer mix?
I think
You
that,
know?
and you're right, we
Yeah.
have a very traditional approach when it comes down to jobs.
Correct.
So if you're not a doctor, lawyer,
Correct.
or teacher,
Correct.
then society,
Correct.
you're not really recognized.
And I like the word recognize, because this also brings up the other topic of what are the jobs that we recognize in Trinidad and Tobago.
We have a very traditional approach.
yeah, exactly. So, and one of the industries that really stand out to me is the agriculture sector.
Yes.
Right, and a lot of youths, I should say, frown on this particular sector.
Funny that you'll say that, but I've seen over time where a lot
Right.
of youths are actually getting involved in it, and
Correct.
they brought into it a level of dynamism that,
Yeah.
I mean, they've changed the face of agriculture and
Correct.
how you would look at agriculture.
Correct.
I mean, some
Yeah.
years ago you'd say, okay, that's just people walking with
Yeah.
these boots and then
Yeah.
mud and
Yeah.
no.
Well, kudos to those who have taken that leap, and I know a lot of young agri entrepreneurs
Yeah.
that are doing their thing, right? But let's look at the average, say on the street, in terms of what does a young person think about agriculture?
Yeah.
You understand? And I'll be honest with you, these are the jobs that are frowned upon, and it's because of the lack of knowledge that they don't understand what these jobs could afford.
You're right.
Right? And I could tell you firsthand, I mean, I've worked at the bank for 3 years, and this is not to give out customer information,
Yes, I
but
hope not.
I've seen where jobs like, especially the farmers, persons in that industry,
Yeah.
make a lot more money than those guys who come in with the shirt and tie. So if they understand what this particular industry, and I want to zoom in on this particular industry, if they understand what this means or what this can create for themselves, their mindset would change.
Yeah.
And then they would lend themselves to another, learning
Yeah.
or another
Do you
field.
think that perhaps a lot of, not just youths, but, we're talking about youths today,
Yeah.
but many times they're stuck in a comfort zone.
Yeah, that tends to happen a lot. And I want to draw back a bit with the case of a live example. Samantha leaves school 2012,
Right.
graduating with her BSc in chemistry. Her passion is chemistry. But Samantha applied for 3 lab jobs, right? Technician job, whatever the case may be. But she was unsuccessful, right? However, the first opportunity is at a bank. She gets you to work at a bank. So Samantha having a chemistry degree,
Yeah.
working at a bank. Now, I really don't see anything wrong with that, right? Because at that point in time, the opportunity may not have been there. But what that situation does, and it has been going on for long, right? We've seen this year and year after year, been going on for over the past 10 years. People are graduating with X,
Yeah.
right?
And they're working in another field.
Exactly. And I think that in itself creates something new, a
Yeah.
positive change
Yeah.
where people are now being able to be dynamic and learn something outside what they like and they love, and they create something new about themselves, and maybe they earn more money in that field that they never know.
Yeah.
So it's all about learning yourself, giving yourself an opportunity to create changes, have, as you say, wear more than one hat.
Yeah.
So I think that's the real essence behind it. On the flip side, there are a lot of defects in the system, right? We have a lot of high-level jobs in the public service
Yeah.
that are unfilled. And then we ask ourselves, why? We have all been through that situation where we submit a resume, right? And we already know that
You're
resume
not
going to
getting-
get lost
yeah.
in automatically. So, and I want to make reference recently where the Minister of Finance, he mentioned also that there are a lot of positions that are unfilled, and why is it? And
Yeah.
we must ask ourselves, why is the Commission not taking maybe a close, zoom in on
Yeah.
why it is that these,
Yeah.
we have a lot of skilled persons out there, so.
I think it also brings into question, I'm not going to call the company's name right now,
Right.
but I was having a conversation with a gentleman who came on this show recently, and he was giving me the example of that particular company, where the positions were, it was laid out, advertised,
Right,
really well advertised.
right,
Mind you, this individual is very qualified.
correct,
But like you just said, the resume got lost.
correct,
So you have a case here where he was now told that, it's a corrupted system. They
Right.
had their people in place. Mind you, these are older folks.
Yeah.
Now, I have no problem with older folks being in positions. It's a way of keeping the legacy and,
Correct.
we could both
continuity,
learn. Yeah.
correct,
But when you have these higher and important positions being filled with unqualified people,
yeah.
that is where we're going downhill as a society.
Well, we have a track record for nepotism,
Yes.
right? And that is something that needs to be addressed because baseline, this is the situation. There's a vacancy, right? Let's say for a chief health inspector at the ministry. But we already know that the cousin or the in-law of so and
It's
so.
always a friend or
You understand? So these are the things, these are the hindrances that really causes an unease in our youths, because when they go through this process over and over, they submit resume time and time after again, and no response, right? Not even a response saying, well, you were declined, you accepted. These resume,
not even a generic response.
yeah, these
Hey,
things actually get lost in the system over and over again.
I think one thing that also stands out to me is you see these jobs advertising,
Yeah,
but then you see persons must have 10 years experience. Now,
Yeah.
how am I, a university graduate, supposed to achieve 10 years experience?
correct. Well, that is, how should I say it? I mean, it's slightly debatable. It's a catch-22, but, experience is needed for the job. But you're now coming out of university, you have zero experience,
Yeah.
But again, these are the conditions that really drive the human resource of our country.
Yeah.
You need to make yourself dynamic. Yeah? So even though you have a love for this, it may not mean that you're going to spend the rest of your life in it. And that is one of the things that I want to make mention of too, is that it's a whole mindset, it's a whole paradigm shift that we need to create. We have this thing, and from our parents, we would keep hearing it. Christy, come on the TV, or come, and come off the laptop, come off the device.
Yeah.
But these are the actions that are done by people who love the creative arts, get into the creative industries, the vocational students. So instead of, there's a limit.
Yeah.
You may not have your kids being on their devices and cause a distraction. But what if Tom loves programming, or he loves creating an app, or he wants to do that? This is the job of the next.
I know of very few who, you're not, they didn't further than.
Right.
Like, for instance, I know of someone personally who, he's always playing games.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so why are you playing games? And he's actually now pursuing game designing.
Exactly.
And I'm like, well,
Exactly. The
it's really
creatives.
it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we need to keep a keen eye on this and channel young people, young students into the field that they actually love.
Yeah.
and support that, support those things. I really don't see any emphasis, or I should say more emphasis should be created where in regards to information and technology,
Yeah.
right? And we also see that affecting our public service as well.
Oh my God.
Right?
Like as simple as a
Yeah.
public office does not have a photocopying machine.
You know, and
Oh.
basic ICT programming and systems where the ease of transaction is done.
Yeah, cash only. It's
Yeah, you know.
still a cash only system.
Exactly.
And it bothers me.
So we live in a very archaic
Yeah.
timing,
Yeah.
and to be honest with you, things are changing.
We need to get up to speed.
5-10 years from now, we may not even have print journalism again.
No, that's debatable, but
You understand? I've been
if
real
we're
with you.
saving trees, then yes, of
Yeah,
course.
you know, these are the actions that we are taking now, and they're serious, and it's affecting young people.
Yes.
We can't blame the government and say,
No.
you know, it's the government fault. Yes, they lend to the situation,
Yeah.
but the onus is on the young people to get up, diversify themselves, get into industries that they think are not paying, you know, and start to make money. We need to redefine what a hustle is.
Yeah.
You know, let it be sustainable for us. Let it that cash flow. You don't mind wearing a short pants and an old jersey to go and deposit your thousands in the bank.
This is another thing. A lot of young people live to impress others.
Well,
So,
not me.
pride.
Yeah, pride. Yeah, we've lived
So
through that a
you
lot.
need to always be wearing something
Exactly.
fancy
Exactly.
because you automatically think, okay, he has money. Like you just said,
Yeah.
the farmer is the one
Yeah.
who is walking in with the thousands as
Exactly.
opposed to,
Yeah, and for some strange reason, I have a bias, a special liking towards agriculture. So
think
that
we
is why I
all-
stress so much on this industry, because I really see the need that where young people could do so much.
and with agriculture comes a lot of other
Yeah.
things. You have trade. Now
Yeah.
you can have not just locally,
Correct.
get a regional trade.
Yeah.
You can improvise with technology.
Of course, I mean, these things are happening right now. We have persons who are utilizing technology for irrigation systems.
Yes.
These things are happening. You could use your phone and
Yeah,
time
yeah.
when it is you want to water your lettuce. You know,
Yeah.
things like this.
Yeah.
And I think it's the information not being, people are not understanding that this is a possibility. Yes, there's a level of, it's out there.
Yeah.
We know it's out there, you know. We see where more hydroponic systems are being, you know, practiced by persons, people getting
Which is
into-
really cool,
Which
by
is
the
good,
way.
which is good.
Yeah.
But are we doing enough in that? No. No, we're not.
Because like you rightly said, agriculture has always been
Yeah.
looked upon
Frowned
like,
upon,
okay,
frowned upon.
you're nothing.
Yeah.
And even from the upper heads, because agriculture always receives the smallest chunk of
In the
every single
budget.
budget.
Exactly.
If you look back at past budgets, you'll always see the lowest is
Yeah.
agriculture.
1.9 billion,
Yeah.
barely making a 3 billion.
And
It's
I
ridiculous.
think it again shows the failure in which if you invest more in agriculture, you'll obviously cut our food import bill,
Correct, correct.
food importation on the whole.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know,
Exactly.
who do we tell this to?
Yeah. Who do we go to?
Yeah.
I mean, we need to look at the job. It's a skill job.
Yes, it is.
You know, it requires a lot of a business aspect. There's a lot of science in agriculture. Actually, there's more science on the field, on a farm, than in a lab. To be honest with you, because the conditions out there are not controlled.
Yeah.
You know, and in a lab it's very detailed, controlled conditions. But when you're out there as a farmer, you need to have that intuition. You need to have that discerning mentality
Yeah,
that these
yeah,
things are going to
yeah.
happen. So the farmer is a chemist. He's a businessman.
Yeah.
You know, he's a physicist. You know, he's watching all these conditions, soil type. So he's a dynamic person. So I love the farmer. I love the farmer. Yeah, I do.
And there is no bias to that statement, of course.
Yeah.
I know you just made mention to something very interesting there. You know, about the young person who probably wants to wear just a short pants and a t-shirt and do
Yeah.
his own business.
Yeah.
So it brings into play entrepreneurship.
Correct.
Entrepreneurship seems to be something that has been growing, which is very good.
Yeah.
What do you say to those of the young persons who probably watching and they're like, well, I can't get a job.
Yeah.
What do I do now? Do I just sit here and wallow in my sadness?
Yeah.
Or do I sit here and say, okay,
Yeah.
let me start something?
I respect all entrepreneurs, and having your own business, being self-employed, is a real task.
Yes.
I 8 to 4 job, 8 to 5 job, that's something really structured.
Yeah.
But people in understanding entrepreneurship, there's a lot of effort that goes into it, a lot of sacrifice. The word entrepreneurship to me is a sacrifice.
Yes, it is.
So, and there are a lot of young entrepreneurs in Trinidad and Tobago have really sacrificed to be where they are today.
And speaking of entrepreneurs, we have coming up after the owner of Bakery Treats.
Oh yes,
Michelle.
Okay,
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
Again, entrepreneurship. They say that not all persons can be an entrepreneur. I have mixed feelings about that.
It depends on the person.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about that, but it's the direction in where we have no choice but to go to now. Start to create our own jobs, and what we need in that sector is a lot of support services. Entrepreneurship entails a lot of services that allows the man on the ground to access banking services, insurance services, things like that they may not have an account for. They pay themselves. They have their own accounting to do. So simple things like a business plan, persons that want to get into a business and they need to apply for a loan, for machinery. And we have these support services, entities like YBTT and Netco and these guys. The opportunities are there. We need to find out and access it. There are challenges in accessing
it. Of course, as is with everything.
Yeah.
Even a business, you have your challenges.
Correct.
But you need to know how to overcome them.
Correct.
And it's either I always say there are two ways to look at things.
Yeah.
You can either look at it and just sit down there and try to, worry about it, or you can either look at it as a stepping stone and just say, you know what?
Correct.
Let me beat the system.
Correct. Well, the system is what lends to young entrepreneurs because, take for instance, young entrepreneur opening a bank account at one of our banks. Their cash flow, no one pays them. They don't get a pay slip to go and open an account in terms of monitoring their monthly income, right? So these are the things that need to be made easy for young entrepreneurs. The ability to open a business account, because banks are ridiculous sometimes. They ask for, previous 6 months of your finances. I mean, that all well and good in tracking, that type of information. It is necessary. But we need to be or practice a lot more due diligence in finding out who our customers are. So again, support services in the financial sector, right? With regards to loans and these are the resources that young entrepreneurs look for. Grants and funding, So entrepreneurship, a wonderful avenue to take for persons who really want to fulfill their personal goals, their own business aspirations. So,
Kevin, we are running out of time, so I'm going to ask you your closing comments.
Okay, it was really a pleasure being here today. I want to especially say to the young people of Trinidad and Tobago that the opportunities are here for us and there are limitations. We are always going to face limitations. I want to say to the young people too that make your hustle sustainable. Whatever you do, take pride in what you do. Really, really own it. Because this is what's going to make you successful in anything that you do. Do it to the best of your ability.
And be self-motivated.
Of course. Whatever you do, whether you're a young taxi driver, whatever you do, motivate yourself because in that motivation, you're going to push yourself forward.
All right. Thank you so much, Kevin.
No problem.
Of course, it was indeed a pleasure
It was.
talking to you about like you rightly said, there are the opportunities there. It's just for
Yeah.
the young people to come out there, come out of your comfort zone, because
Correct.
too often we get comfortable and we get complacent.
We do.
And there are
we do.
things flying by, and now you're like, oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
But did you put yourself out there?
Correct. We need to take that
So,
extra step.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to toss to a really short break and come back with more. Stay with us.